Very good morning, students. Welcome back to Data Structures and Algorithms course. In our previous session, we discussed the sorting techniques. We started the sorting techniques and we discussed the selection sort and bubble sort algorithms. So, in today's session, we'll be practicing the remaining sorting techniques. They are insertion. Uh, yes, in our previous session, we discussed basically, just give me a second. The first two sorting techniques from this list we have discussed, that is selection sort and bubble sort. Okay, not only the concept wise discussion, but I have also shown you the implementation, program implementation also we discussed. And for your external exams as well, lab external as well, we said the selection sort, bubble sort and insertion sort you need to be good at. Okay, so these two we have already concluded. So in today's session, we will be focusing on insertion, quick, merge and heap. And with this, we complete the sorting techniques. And in one more class, hopefully I will explain what is hashing. Okay, and with that we conclude our DSS syllabus. The hashing will be the last concept that we are going to discuss. Okay, so quickly we'll see what is insertion sort, selection sort, implementation also we have seen. Then bubble sort, implementation also we have seen. And in today's session we'll be discussing insertion sort. So this insertion sort, what it will do, being a sorting technique, it will also arranges the element. Given a list of elements, it will also arranges the elements either in ascending order or in descending order. All the elements, they must be either in ascending order or in descending order. That we can say in a particular order. So insertion sort algorithm arranges a list of elements in a particular order. So in insertion sort algorithm, every iteration, after completion of every iteration, what will happen? One element will be moved from, basically we divide the complete list, whatever list they will give, we divide that complete list into two subparts. That how we have done in case of selection and bubble, here also we do the same. We'll divide the complete list into two subparts. One is sorted list and the other one is unsorted portion of the list. Sorted portion of the sublist and unsorted portion of the sublist. So after completing one iteration, what will happen? The one element will be moved from unsorted portion to the sorted portion. Okay, unsorted portion to the sorted portion. So it is something like the playing cards, when we used to play the cards. Okay, so what we do, we'll arrange the cards in a particular order. So how we arrange that one? So down on the table, whatever cards we are going to have, consider that cards as unsorted list. And from that unsorted cards, one time we'll take only one card. We'll pick one card and we'll hold in our hand, isn't it? Picking the second card and we'll put that card in a proper location. Whether if it is greater, according to the number what we are receiving, because playing cards, all they will have numbers printed on them, isn't it? So holding one particular card in hand, okay, initially we are not having any cards, so what we do, we'll take the first card and we'll make that first card as the only card in your sorted list. In hand, whatever cards you are having, that is sorted list. On the table, whatever cards you are having, that is unsorted sublist. So from the unsorted, initially we are not having any cards in our hand. So first I pick the first card from the table and I will make that first card as my only card in the sorted sublist. Okay, sorted sublist. Then what I will do, I will pick the second card, and according to the card whatever I have in my hand, according to that card I will arrange this card, whether before that or after this. If it is lesser, I will put the card before the available card. And if it is greater, if the newly picked card is the greater than what I have in my hand, I will make that card above the existing card. So likewise we arrange all the cards in our hand. Okay, so finally what will happen, the whatever cards we have on the table or in unsorted list, it will finally come in my hand. All the cards will come in my hand. So in my hand, I am holding all the cards in sorted order. So in this way, we perform the insertion sorting technique. We'll pick one number from the unsorted sublist and push that number into sorted sublist by placing it in a proper position. Will not randomly push it, but by placing it in a proper place. Okay, proper position we can say. So if you read that complete statements, you will get the same meaning what I have explained just now. Consider you have 10 cards out of a deck of cards in your hand, and they are sorted and arranged in the ascending order of their number. So what our intention is, we want to arrange all 10 cards in a sorted order. So if I give you another card and ask you to insert that card in just the right position so that the card in your hand are still started. So what you have to do, simply do the comparison of the newly picked card with the existing card in your hand. So put that card in the proper position by comparing the numbers. Put that newly picked card in a proper position. That's it. That's the thing we have to do. So all these things will explain the same thing. So this insertion sort technique, it is an efficient technique when compared with the previous two techniques like sorting, selection sort and bubble sort. Insertion sort is adaptive. That means it reduces its total number of steps if a particular sorted array is provided as input. If your complete array is in sorted order, we need not to perform the same process repeatedly. It will simply if it will adopt itself so as to minimize the steps. Okay, so as to minimize the steps. It is an efficient, we are saying it is an efficient technique for smaller set of data. Smaller sets, if you are having, it is an efficient technique. But if you have, at the same time, if you are having larger sets, it is an inefficient technique. Okay, it is better than selection sort and bubble sort algorithm, as it is space complexity wise, it is not using any extra space for performing this sorting technique. Okay, it is a stable sorting technique as it does not change the relative order of elements which are equal. If the elements which are equal, we are not performing any kind of swapping or any kind of changing the positions kind of thing. If the elements are equal, we are not saying lesser greater. If the elements are lesser greater, then only we'll change, we need to change the positions. If the elements are equal, we should not do anything, isn't it? But unlike this, in our previous case, what we are doing, whenever the elements are equal, even if you are taking all the equal elements inside your list, then what it is doing, it is performing the sorting. So that thing, this quick sort, this insertion sort, it will not do. It will simply consider the equal elements positions, and it will not change any such. Okay, remember this one. So the next thing, the algorithm, how it will perform, how it will be performed. So assume that first you divide the given list into two portions, unsorted sublist, sorted sublist. Okay, divide the list into two sub portions. Initially, we are not going to have anything in sorted sublist because we have not done any sorting technique. We have not applied any sorting technique. Then what we do, take the first element from the unsorted portion and insert that element into the sorted portion in the order specified. So initially we pick one element, first element from the unsorted sublist, and we put that unsorted element into sorted sublist in its order. Okay, where it has to be inserted, at that proper location only we will insert. Repeat this same steps, whatever we performed so far, 1 2, repeat the same steps until all elements from your unsorted sublist are moved into the sorted sublist. From the unsorted sublist, we move all elements into the sorted sublist. So let us just consider the example. Over here, how many elements we have? Like 4 plus 4, 8 elements we have. 15, 20, 10, 30, 50, 18, 5 and 45. Total 8 elements I am having. So initially what I will do, I will divide this complete list into two portions. Okay, by having a wall over here, let us assume, by having a wall over here. So whatever I have, left hand to this wall, left hand side to this wall, I will consider this list as sorted sublist. Sorted list. And whatever I have right side to this list, this entire thing, I will consider it as unsorted list. Unsorted list. So now what I have to do, I have to pick one element from the unsorted sublist. So generally we pick, I mean not generally, always we pick the first element from the sorted sublist, and will put this unsorted element, will put this element into sorted sublist in its right position, in its right position. So what we are doing, always we are picking the first element from the unsorted sublist and putting that element into the sorted sublist in its right position. So initially 15, see over here, sorted, unsorted, the complete list we divided into two: sorted sublist, unsorted sublist. So initially I'm picking one element, that is 15. This 15 I picked and I moved this into sorted sublist. As there are no elements, only 15 will come over here and the wall will come after 15. So like this. So now in sorted sublist I have one element, in unsorted sublist one less element. One less element we can say. So after that again pick one more time. So repeat the same process. Pick 20 and place it in its proper position. 20 compare with 15. It is greater than 15, so it has to come after 15. So like this. Okay, 15, 20 will come over here, and then we'll be having the wall will move, and then we'll be having 10 in the front location. So then pick 10. So when you are picking 10, here you can see when you are picking 10 for insertion into the sorted list, where you have to insert it, it can't come in between 15 and 20, neither it should come above 20. Where it has to come, it has to come before 15. It has to come before 15. Here it has to come 10, here it has to come. So accordingly we did the insertion. 10 it came over here, 15, 20. Then again at the forefront we have 30. Pick that 30 and do the proper insertion. So 30 it should come after 20. So accordingly we did 10, 15, 20, 30. Then 50 will come at the forefront. 50, 18, 5, 45 still remain in the unsorted sublist. So go to the next step. Okay, pick 50. Okay, again 50 has to come after 30. Here it has to come after 30, it has to come. So do the insertion accordingly for this 50, and then it will be 18, 5, 45 remain in the unsorted sublist, and sorted sublist will become like this. Again you pick this 18. Pick this 18. Where it has to come? It has to come after 15. After 15 it has to come over here. So accordingly we do the insertion. Then we'll be having 10, 15, 80, 20, 30, 50. Then 5. Where it has to come? It has to come at the front of the sorted sublist. Where it has to come? At the front of the sorted sublist. Here it has to come. The 5. Okay. So then only one element, 45, will be left inside the unsorted sublist. Just select that 45 as well and do the insertion accordingly. It has to come over here like this. So finally, after performing, after doing all the comparisons and after inserting all the elements into the sorted sublist, what will happen? Your unsorted list, it is empty now, as you can see. Your unsorted list, it is empty now, as it is not having any elements into it, and your sorted sublist, it is in properly sorted order, as you can check. We are starting from 5 and ending at 50, and in between all the elements are in sorted order. As you can see here, it is very clear. Okay, so quickly we go and we see the implementation. Here the time complexity is in the worst case, in the best case, in the worst case and in average case it is order of n square, and in the best case it is order of n. Remember this one. Okay, so quickly we see the implementation. So I'm going to my Dave CPP. Okay, it is very easy to implement, and just one combination of two for loops will differ between insertion and bubble sort. Combination of two for loops will differ, so it is very easy to remember. We are doing the implementation. So hash include IO stream, then using namespace std colon int main of void. Okay, so then you take int just to have the size of the list, size, and then take two counters to run the loops. then one temporary variable, and list of 100 also you take. 100 elements we are taking, but we are not going to sort all 100 elements. Okay, then cout. This thing we have done for your selection and bubble sort as well. Enter the size of the list. Okay, then read it in size. C in size. Then what else you have to do? For cout, enter how many elements? Equal to the size. Size elements, enter size integer values. Integer values, put the semicolon at the end. Okay, then run the loop. Here what we are doing, we are reading the elements into the uh, list. I of 0, I must be less than size, and I plus plus. We are simply reading the elements into the list. C in of list of I. List of I. That's it. Delete this one and put the semicolon at the end. Now we have to perform the insertion sort. So two loop combinations. Here just put I must be equals to 1. From 1 we are starting, because first element we are by default we are considering it as in sorted. Then I must be less than size, up to size we have to do, and I plus plus. Okay, then take the second loop. We are taking the second loop, but before that we are doing some corrections. Temp equals to list of I. Okay, then one more thing, j is equals to I minus 1. Like this also you have to do. Okay, then we are taking the second loop, while loop. While temp must be less than list of j. List of j, and okay, j must be greater than or equals to 0. J must be greater than or equals to 0. And here you do a list of j plus 1. J plus 1 equals to list of j. List of j. Then j equals to j minus 1 once again. Okay, then after this you make like this, list of j plus 1. List of j plus 1 equals to 10. Okay, after this loop, yeah, as the list will be in sorted order, print that list. Cout list after sorting. List after sorting. In bracket you can write insertion sort, because we are performing insertion sort, right? So list after sorting, insertion sort we are performing is colon, and at the end you put the semicolon. Then for all I equals to simple counter we have to take up to size I plus plus, and then cout. Previously for reading C in we have taken, for printing cout, print that. Give some space, because reading is simple, but printing we need to format, output we need to format. A list of I. At the end put the semicolon. That's it. Control save, give the name as this is insertion.cpp, hit the enter key. Program got saved, compile. Yeah, we didn't get any issues. Run it. Enter the size of the list. I'm saying like 5 elements I will insert. So it is asking me 5 integer values. 5 integer values. So I'm entering 45, 3, 56, 2, 4. That's it, 5, right? So as you can see, 2, 3, 4, 45, 56. It is arranging all the elements in sorted order using the insertion sort technique. So 2, 3, 4, 45 and 56. In this way we can perform the insertion sort technique. Okay, so then we have the next sorting technique, which is quick sort. It is one of the complex technique to discuss and one of the complex technique to implement to perform. Okay, basically the concept itself, because just to minimize the time complexity we are using this quick sort technique, but in turn it is having a lot of difficult concepts, we can say. Okay, so quick sort is a fast sorting algorithm used to sort a list of elements, because ultimately when we do the complex implementation, what will happen, the speed will increase. I mean, the quick sort, the name itself, it is giving the meaning over there. Why we go for this quick sort means because it will sort the elements in a faster manner. Okay, in a modern computer, in an advanced computer, we will not see that much what we call speed, but when we do the what we call speed calculation or the time complexity calculation at atomic level, definitely you see the difference between selection, insertion, bubble sort. Quick sort is the fastest sorting algorithm, we can say. Fastest sorting algorithm. So it was invented by C.A. Hore. C.A. Hore. C.A.R. Hore. I mean, the programmer or the developer, his name is C.A.R. Hore. The quicksort algorithm attempts to separate the list. So basically what we do means we divide the given list into two sub portions, but will not do it randomly, unlike the previous case. How we have done, simply we took the unsorted sublist at the beginning and sorted sublist at the end. Will not go in that way, but we divide the list into two partitions or into two portions, two parts, such that all elements, I mean, we will make the center element, as we call it, as a pivot element. The center element, we call it as pivot element, and whatever elements we are going to have before that pivot element, they should be smaller, and whatever elements we are going to have after the pivot, they should be greater, larger. Okay, the quicksort algorithm attempts to separate the list of elements into two parts and then sort each part recursively. After even dividing the list, what it will do, we will apply the quicksort on subparts recursively. That means it uses divide and conquer strategy. Okay, dividing and conquering separately. Okay, divide the big problem into two sub problems and find the solution to each sub problem, and finally after having the solution, combine it. Okay, in quicksort, the partition of the list is performed based on the element called pivot. Just now I told you that one, how we are performing the partition of the list based on the element, a special element we are making, and we are calling that special element as the pivot element. So based on this pivot element only, we are doing the partition of the list. Okay, partition of the list. Here pivot element is one of the elements in the list, and don't think that pivot element from somewhere we are bringing, or it is a special type of element. It is not like that. Whatever elements you have into your list, from that elements only will make one element as pivot element. Will make one element as pivot element, and based on that pivot element only will divide the list into two parts. One is smaller list and one is larger list. The elements which are smaller to the pivot element, they will be shifted to the left side of the pivot element, and the elements which are greater to the pivot element, they will be shifted to the right side to the pivot element. So in that way we do recursively until and unless your complete list will become in sorted order. Your complete list will become in sorted order. So what we have to do in quick sort algorithm, if you see, partitioning of the list is performed using the following steps. How we are performing the partitioning? So consider the first element of the list as pivot, because initially, as all elements, they are randomly available. They are randomly available. What we do, okay, here we are not doing any partition. Don't think that we are doing the partition. We are just considering the first element as pivot element. We are just making the first element as pivot element, because I mean, we don't know the order of the elements at initial stage. We don't know the order of the elements. So before making any comparisons, we will assume the first element as the pivot element. Still we have not done the partition. We have only assumed the first element as pivot element. Okay, define two variables I and j. Set I to the first element and j to the last element. Will first element in the sense leaving the pivot. So generally we do left and right. Okay, set left and set right. So over here instead of I you consider it as left, and instead of j you consider it as right. So basically in our example discussion also will go in that way. So this I must be left, because we start this I from the left side of the list, and this j must be right. Okay, j must be right, left, right. Okay, so initially we make pivot as the first element, the second element left, and the last element right. Then we start comparing the elements with pivot. We compare list of left with pivot, list of right with pivot, and we do the changes accordingly. How means, yeah, increment right, this is left, I means left, isn't it? I means left. Increment left until list of left is greater than pivot. List of left is greater than pivot, then stop. Simply you start incrementing left, compare it with pivot, and if list of pivot is list of pivot is lesser than list of left, then what we have to do, increment left. Okay, likewise same thing for right, decrement right if list of right is lesser than pivot. List of right is lesser than pivot, then stop. If left is, I mean after shifting in this way, if left is lesser than pivot, if left is lesser than right, then what we do, exchange list of left with, I need to change all these things, I will change, no worries, I will change this complete thing in your notes. List of left with list of right. Okay, simply what we do, we swap, we exchange a list of left with list of right. Repeat the same steps from 3 to 6. Okay, 3 to 5 we can say, until right is greater, sorry, left is greater than j. Until left is greater than j, that is left is greater than right. Okay, repeat the same steps until left is greater than right. Exchange the pivot element with list of right. If this is false, if this is false, then what we have to do, exchange the pivot element with list of right. So now what will happen, pivot will come somewhere in the middle, somewhere in the center we can say. After doing like this, pivot will come somewhere in the middle. So now you do the partition. After making the pivot in the center, do the partition. Okay, one list will have all small elements than the pivot, and other list will have all greater elements than pivot. So after doing the partition, likewise again you consider the small list as the separate list and perform the same operation. There also you consider one more pivot and perform the same thing. In greater list also we have to perform the same thing. We have to consider the pivot left, right, and perform the same thing. Yeah, till recursively you have to do these operations until and unless your complete list will become in sorted order. See, here you can understand very easily. So what is my list? I have 5 3 8 1 4 6 2 7. So initially what I have to do, I have to consider this first element as pivot. Consider the first element as pivot, the next element as left, and the next element as right. Okay, so then what we have to do, how we are doing, increment left if list of left is greater than pivot. List of left is greater than pivot, then what we have to do, increment left. Okay, list of left is greater than pivot. What is list of left? List of left is 3. Is it greater than? Okay, is it greater than list of left? List of left is greater than pivot, then stop. We are okay. Till how long we have to increment left, in the sense until and unless we find list of left which should be greater than pivot. So over here when we are comparing list of left is nothing but 3. Okay, this 3 when we are comparing with pivot with 5, we found that it is lesser. Okay, list of left is lesser. So if list of left is lesser, then what will happen, we have to increment left. So left will come over here, left will come over here like this. Again you do the comparison, list of left we are comparing with pivot. So here we found that list of left is greater, so here we have to stop here. Then check over here, right. Okay, do the comparison with pivot. List of left, not left, list of pivot and list of right. Which one is greater? List of right is greater. For right, we have to check the reverse condition, I mean opposite condition. Here we stopped if it is greater, but here we need to stop if it is lesser, smaller. So as you can see, 7 is greater than 5. So uh, decrement right, that is nothing but move the right to the previous position. So right will come over here. Right will come over here. Now compare list of right with pivot. List of right is 2, which is smaller than pivot. So stop here. Stop here. So now we stopped and we found that what we found, left is lesser than right. Left is lesser than right means what we have to do? Just swap these two. Left is lesser than right means just swap these two. Okay, just swap these two. Okay, we will see this complete operation step by step over here. See, initially we made the first element as pivot, then the second element as left, and the last element as right. Okay, initially the first element as pivot, the second element as left, and the last element as right. So do the comparison with this list of left with pivot, and we see that list of left is smaller. So increment left, left will come over here, and right will, okay, left will come over here, and then again you do the comparison. It is greater, so stop over here itself. Then come to right. List of right, it is greater, so move the right over here. Move the right over here. Then list of right, do the comparison with pivot. It is smaller, so stop over here itself. After stopping, what we are doing, just check. Okay, so here we did the comparison. Accordingly, we did the comparison. Then see, left is over here because 8 is greater than pivot, so we stopped. And right is over here, and 2 is smaller than 5, so we stopped. Here we stopped, here we stopped. So after that, what we said? Swap these two. Swap these two, we said. Swap these two elements. So 2 should come over here, 2 should come over here, and 8 should go over here. 8 should go over here. You can see that thing over here, right? Right, you can see over here. See, 2 came over here and 8 came over here, like this. Left right will remain the same, just the elements will be swapped. Just the elements will be swapped. After swapping, one more time you perform the same thing. One more time you perform the same thing. So 2 will be compared with, first we do with left. 2 will be compared with 5, it is lesser. So shift the left, left will come over here. Again, 1 will compared with 5, it is lesser. So left will come over here. 4 with compared with 5, it is lesser. So left will come over here. And 6 with compared with 5, it is greater. So left will stop over here. At 6, left will stop. So after stopping left, do the same thing with right. But right, when you have to stop, and as long as right is greater, you have to decrement right. That is nothing but you have to shift, I mean you have to make the right to point the previous. But if the right element will become smaller, there only you have to stop. Okay, now where the right will stop, just see, left is stopped over here. You can see I have written over here, left is stopped at 6. Okay, now compare right with 5. 8 is greater, so decrement right, right will come over here. Decrement right, right will come over here. Then compare 6 with 5, greater, so right will come over here. Right will come over here. Now compare right with 4 with 5, lesser, so stop. Where the right is stopped, right is stopped at 4 and left is stopped at 6. Remember this one. Right is stopped at 4, left is stopped at 6. Now what has happened? You compare the values of left and right. Left is greater than right now. Left value, the position value we are talking about. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6, this is 7. So the left is at 5th location and right is at 4th location. Left is at 5th location, right is at 4th location. So that is left is greater than right. Left is greater than right. So then what we have to do, if yeah, these two things are, yeah, you can see left is stopped at 6 and right is stopped at 4. Left is stopped at 6 and right is stopped at 4. And now here right and left both are stopped and left is greater than right. So we need to swap list of pivot and list of right. What we have to do? Swap list of pivot with list of right. We are not doing anything with left, but we are swapping these two. We are swapping these two. So what will happen? 5 will come over here and 4 will go over here. The same thing happened. You can see 4 has come over here and 5 has come over here. Okay, 5 has come over here. So again, now what has happened? The pivot, it is in the center. Pivot, it is in the center. So you keep this pivot as it is and divide the complete list into two partitions. Okay, divide the complete list in two partitions. As you can see, all the elements left side to this pivot, they are smaller than 5, and all elements right side to this pivot are greater than the pivot. So now what you have to do after doing the partition, again here you take this as pivot, okay, to this sublist. Take this as pivot, this is left and this is right, and find out the next pivot. Find out the next pivot. Here also same thing. This is your pivot. First element will become pivot. Okay, next element will become left and the last element will become the right. Apply the same previous procedure and find out the next pivot in this list, and in this list another pivot. So we got here we got 4 and here we got 6. 6 and 4 are our next pivots. Okay, then repeat the same again, pivot left right. Here also pivot left and right will also become the same thing. So like this, find out one more pivot here, one more pivot here. So then finally what will happen after finding out all the pivots in sorted unsorted sublists, your complete list will become like this. Your complete list will become in sorted order. So it is a very simple concept, recursive approach. Whatever concept we discussed, you just recursively you have to apply. Okay. In the worst case, the time complexity is order of n square. In the best case, n log n, and in the average case also n log n. And it is the quickest algorithm we can say when compared to selection sort and bubble sort. So we'll see the implementation of this quick sort algorithm. Okay. It is somewhat difficult when compared with your bubble sort, selection sort and insertion sort. It is somewhat different and somewhat difficult as well. So just go to the what we call IDE. So here, see, I'm not printing and reading the list and printing the list, it is same. So I'm only removing this logic. So till this point my list is with me. So now what I have to do, I have to perform only the quick sort algorithm. As we said, it is a recursive algorithm, so we have to write a function over here because we need to call the quick sort algorithm recursively. Void quick sort of, we are going to pass an array to this one as well as size and some other things also we will pass. Okay, so first and last we will pass, basically first and last or left and right we will pass. Okay, so whatever you take, I, j, first, last, right, left, whatever you take, the concept will be same. Okay, so here what we have to do, call the function recursively. After reading the list, call the function recursively. Quick sort of, okay, I think some mistake is there in the name. SORT, quick, QUICK RT. Okay, quick sort of, pass the list, comma 0, comma size minus 1, and put the semicolon at the end. Only this much, and then print. And now what we have to do, define that function quick sort, void of quick sort of, read the list, int list of, comma, read the first element, read the last element. So like this we are reading. So now declare one pivot, comma, I, comma, j, comma, temp. Okay, so then if at all my first is lesser than last, okay, till this point only we have to make the corrections, isn't it? Pivot equals to first. Initially we are taking the pivot as first, then I also as first, comma, j as last. Okay, or else you can even work with ij also, I mean last and first also, no issues. Then while while of I should be less than j, we have to do all this. Sorry, we have to do while, okay, list of I should be lesser than or equals to list of pivot. Simply what we do, and I must be less than last. Here what we do, increment the left, isn't it? Left is nothing but I. First, that is nothing but first. I plus plus you do. Increment the I. Otherwise, check another one. Check with last. List of last, that is nothing but J. That is nothing but right. Okay. J, which should be greater than list of pivot. List of pivot. Then what we are doing? Yeah, here in this case, what we have to do, J plus plus. Increment, sorry, decrement J. Right we are decrementing, left we are incrementing, but right we are decrementing. Then if at all this condition, that is right left is lesser than j, after performing left is lesser than j, then what we do, swap it. Swap temp of what, temp equals to list of I, and then uh, list of I equals to list of j, list of I equals to list of j. Okay, then finally list of j equals to temp. That's it. Put the semicolon at the end and close it. Here also you close the loop, and after closing the loop, okay, temp of list of, this is when uh, left will become greater than right. This is when left will become greater than right. We have to do this thing, pivot. Then list of pivot, we are swapping the pivot basically. List of pivot is equals to list of right, that is nothing but list of j, isn't it? Is equals to list of right, that is nothing but list of j. Then list of j equals to, sorry, list of j equals to temp. Okay, so this swapping we are performing. Then call the quicksort recursively over here. Quicksort of, okay, list comma first comma j minus I, sorry, j minus 1. Put the semicolon at the end. One more time you call quicksort of list comma j plus 1 comma last. So like this you can remember, and close it, save it. Program got saved. Now compile it, no issues hopefully. Then run it. It will ask you to enter the list, so I'm entering 5 elements. So enter the 5 integer values, let us say 46 6, 45 6, 4, 9, 3. Yes, as you can see, the complete list in sorted order we are getting 3 4 6 9 45. 3 4 6 9 45, all elements whatever we have given. It is sorting in, not in insertion, because here we asked it to print insertion sort, but we are performing quick sort over here. So quick. So again, if you go and if you sort it, here also we need one more space. Okay, so now save it, compile it, execute it. As you can see, it is asking me to enter 5 elements. So same 43 6, 32 9 1. See, all elements 1 6 9 32 43, all elements it is sorting in sorted order using quick sort algorithm. Hopefully you understood this one. So quickly we go and we see what next thing we have. Okay, then the next sorting technique, which is merge sort. Basically it will sort the list, given list, in using merge sort technique. So it is also a recursive algorithm, so it will consume less number of time, and in all the operations in merge sort, in all the operations it will perform in n log n time only. Okay, in how much time it will perform? In n log n time it will perform. So it uses the divide and conquer strategy. So divide and conquer in the sense the big problem will be divided into smaller problems, and it will do the division up to atomic level. Okay, up to atomic level. Atomic level in the sense the problem itself becomes the solution. The problem itself becomes the solution. We call it as dividing the problem to atomic level. Dividing the problem to atomic level, where the problem itself becomes the solution. How means, see, let us say if you have some 10 elements into your list, 10 elements into your list. So now what you are doing, you are performing merge sort algorithm. So we said we need to follow the divide and conquer strategy. So we need to divide the given list into partitions. Okay, sub parts. So we divide the 10 elements into 10 sub partitions, where every part is going to have only one element. So if you have only one element in the list, in the sense by default it will be in sorted order, isn't it? By default it will be in sorted order. If you have only one element, what you are going to sort over there? So till what extent we are dividing the given list? Until the problem itself becoming the solution. Okay, we call it as we are dividing the given list to atomic level. We are dividing the given list into atomic level. So that is very simple. Divide the problem, keep on divide the problem until and unless problem itself becomes the solution. So first we have the big list. We'll divide the big list into two sub lists. Okay, two sub problems we are having. Divide further, divide further. Likewise, go up to atomic level, where the further division is not possible. Where the atomic level in the sense where the further division is not possible. Okay, where the further division is not possible, then we'll get the atomic level, and in atomic level all elements by default they will be in sorted order only. All elements by default they will be in sorted order only. So simply after getting the atomic level, start joining them, because we got the solutions, isn't it? Divide and conquer means same thing, isn't it? First you divide the big problem into smaller problems, solve those smaller problems separately, and finally combine the solutions to frame the final big solution. So in merge sort algorithm also we do the same. If we break a single big problem into smaller sub problems, solve the smaller sub problems and combine their solutions to find the solution for the original big problem, it becomes easier to solve the whole problem. So if you read this point, you will get the same meaning whatever I have dictated just now. Okay, in merge sort, the given unsorted array with n elements is divided into n subarrays. 10 elements, 10 subarrays, 20 elements, 20 subarrays likewise. So where in each array we are going to have only one element. So if you have only one element, what you are going to sort? By default it will be in sorted order. Okay, so each having one element, because a single element is always in sorted itself, in itself. Okay, always sorted in itself. A single element will be always sorted in itself. Okay, so then it repeatedly merges these subarrays. Simply start merging them to produce the new sorted subarray, and in the end one complete sorted array is produced. Okay, the concept of divide and conquer involves three concepts. Divide the problem into multiple smaller problems, conquer the sub problems by solving them. The idea is to break down the problem into atomic sub problems where they are actually solved. Okay, simply what we are doing, we are simply solving the problems, subdividing the problems until and unless the problem itself becomes the solution. Okay, combine the solution of the sub problems to find the solution of the actual problem. After finding the solution of each sub problem, simply combine those solutions to get the actual solution to the big problem, actual problem. Okay, so here you can see that one. We have the problem, we are subdividing that problem. Okay, the big problem we have, big problem is nothing but unsorted list. What is our big problem over here? Unsorted list is the big problem. So divide that big problem into sub problems. Further these sub problems will be divided. Further these sub problems will be divided. I mean, till how long we are doing this subdivision means until and unless we reach the atomic level. So at atomic level what will happen? The problem itself becomes the solution. The problem itself becomes the solution. And finally, what we will do, we'll simply combine those solutions to frame the solution to the given problem. Combine to frame the final solution. Okay. So like this, we do the merge sort. So same steps in the algorithm also we are discussing over here. Take a variable p and store the starting index of the list in this, and take another variable r and store the index of the last index of the list in it. So p plus r divided by 2 every time you do like that, and divide your big list into two sub portions. Okay, two sub portions. So likewise, still how long you have to do means as long as your problem is reaching to its atomic level. Okay, atomic level over here is every list must and should have only one element into it. That level, that stage, we call it as an atomic level. Okay, once the complete problem will be subdivided, where every array, every sublist is having only one element, we call it as the problem has reached its atomic level. So it will, by default, it will become the solution of it. Okay, so then after what we do, after finding the solutions, we'll start combine to frame the final solution. So over here we have 14, 7, 3, 12, 9, 11, 6, 12. Okay, how many elements we have? Around 3 plus 3 plus 2. 8 elements we have in my list, unsorted list. So I'm performing the here, I mean, a bit small font size is a bit small over here. You need to pay somewhat attention. So what we have done, we have divided the big list into two subpartitions: 14, 7, 3, 12, 9, 11, 6, 2. Likewise, we have divided. Okay. So every time we are calculating P, Q, and R, and based on that values of P and R, we are subdividing the list. And as you can see, this big list is divided into two subportions, where every subportion is further divided. Here also every subportion is further divided. Here like this we got, here like this we got, like this we got, like this we got. So finally, over here, my problem is at atomic level, I can say. Okay, where it is atomic level, where the problems itself becoming the solution. So now 4 and 7, when you are combining, you are getting, I mean, when you are combining, just make sure they should come in sorted order. So 7 is smaller and 14 is greater. So just swap them and arrange like this. Okay, 7 and 14. Here also same thing. 3 and 12, 3 and 12. 9 and 11, 9 and 11. Like this we are combining. Based on their values, we are combining. So now once again, combine this array, this array. Okay, so 3 should come first, then 7, then 12, 14. Okay, 3, 7, 14, 12. Like this we are getting. Here also do the same thing. 9, 11, 2, 6 we have. So 2, 6, 9, 11 it has to be. 2, 6, 9, 11 we got over here. Now finally combine these two, and when you are combining these two, just make sure that all elements should be in sorted order. So 2, 3, then we have 6, 7, and then we have 9, 11, then we have 12, 14. Likewise, we are going to combine, and this will become the final solution of the big problem. Final solution of the big problem. Remember this one. Okay, so it's the same. As I said, the time complexity over here is n log n, order of n log n for all the cases, best, worst, and average cases. The time complexity will be the same. Okay, so quickly we see the algorithm for performing the merge sort. Okay, it is somewhat difficult than your basic techniques what we followed. So quickly we'll have the implementation. So we can go and we can see the last sorting techniques, that is heap sort. Okay, so let me just start. So here also same thing, reading your list will be, yes, list we have done, list reading and performing the merge sort and printing. The same thing we are doing over here. So I will just remove this quick sort algorithm, quick sort function, and here also we remove this quick sort, because rest of the things are same. Okay, here also I will remove this quick sort. So what function, I mean, this also recursively we are calling. So first I am writing merge, then merge sort. Two different functions we are writing. So that one technique we can write defined functions after the main function, or another technique we can write the defined functions before the main function. In both the ways we can go. So here only I am performing void merge of take int list of comma int p comma int r. Okay, here you take int a temporary list, okay, with 5 elements, because I am going to perform with 5. Okay, or else what you have to do means, for this temporary list also you have to set the size by using some criterion that I don't want. Okay, again it will make our program more complex, that I don't want. Okay, so initially we are taking I comma j comma k. Okay, k is equals to 0, then I is equals to p, then j is equals to q plus 1. Okay, then take a while loop, sorry, take a while loop. I must be less than or equals to q, and j must be less than or equals to r. Okay, in this, if at all my list of I is lesser than list of j, okay, then what we have to do, if at all this is true, simply make temp of k plus plus equals to list of j plus plus, equals to list of j plus plus. At the end put the semicolon, and in the else part, you need to put temp of k plus plus equals to list of, sorry, over here it is I plus plus. In the second case we have to put j plus plus. Here you put I plus plus, and the same thing you copy here, but this time you make it as j plus plus. This time you make it as j plus plus. Okay, after doing this one, yeah, just close this while, take another while, while of I must be less than or equals to q. Here temp of k plus plus, same thing, temp of k plus plus is list of I plus plus. Excellent. Then another while loop, while, okay, j must be less than or equals to r. Here temp of k plus plus is j plus plus, list of j plus plus. Temp of k plus plus is equals to list of j plus plus. List of k plus plus equals to I plus plus, list of k plus plus equals to j plus plus. Then I less than or equals to q, k plus plus equals to I plus plus, j is less than or equals to r, k plus plus equals to j plus plus. And finally, after this, one more we are having, I is less than or equals to q, j is less than or equals to r. Then we are having for loop here. For all I equals to r, then I must be less than, greater than or equals to p, then I minus minus. Okay, then after this, a list of I equals to list of I equals to list of, sorry, temp of minus minus k, temp of minus minus k. Okay, close this, close this. Then we write the merge sort algorithm, void merge sort, merge sort of, just pass the list, comma int p, here also we take, comma int r. Okay, then int q you take, if at all p is less than r, then what we have to do, q is equals to p plus r divided by 2. The routine algorithm what we are performing here. Okay, just divide the sublist into two. Okay, same thing recursively you do till all elements, I mean all arrays will have only one element. Merge sort of list comma p comma q. Okay, one more time. Merge sort of, recursively we are calling these functions q plus 1 comma r. One more time. Merge of list p comma q comma r. Put the semicolon. And here inside the main the same thing, int size list of 100, then we take size I. J is not required because here we are not doing anything. Temp is also not required because all operations we performed above only. Then enter the size, then enter that many elements till this. Okay, then call the merge sort algorithm here. Okay, merge sort of, okay, list comma 0, the first index value, then last index value, size minus 1. Okay, close it. So here after merge sort, like this you print. Okay, same, remaining all are same. In your main function it is same for all sorting techniques. It is saying before expected semicolon, here we forgot the semicolon. Okay, let me just check over there. K is equals to 0, I equals to P, J is equals to Q plus 1. Here I forgot the semicolon. Save it, compile. Another one, what it is saying? Message. Too many arguments to function void merge. Here, Q was not declared in this scope. Q was not declared. Why I have not declared Q? Int list of int P, int Q, int R. Int list of int P, int Q. I forgot int Q here. Int Q and int R. Okay, so now hopefully, yes, there is no issue. Then run the program. It is asking me to enter the size of the list. As I said, 5 elements. So 34, 2, 7, okay, and then 89, 1. As you can see, my complete list is in sorted order using merge sort algorithm. 1, 2, 7, 34, 89. Okay, in this way we can perform the sorting using merge sort algorithm. Okay, so then after this we have one last sorting technique, which is heap sort algorithm. The implementation of this heap sort algorithm, as I said, it is very vast, so we are not going for this implementation in my theory part, but in your notes I will give. Okay, in your notes I will give the implementation, because it will take nearly 1 hour to implement that algorithm. Okay, it is very vast. Okay, heap sort algorithm. Heap sort is one of the sorting algorithm used to arrange the list of elements in order. All the sorting techniques basically we are using for arranging the elements only, either in ascending order or in descending order. Heap sort algorithm uses one of the tree concept like your heap tree. We discussed this heap concept in your fourth unit as well. Heap concept. Okay, maximum heap, minimum heap, that concept we discussed over there. The same concept we apply over here in case of heap sort. In this sorting algorithm, we use maximum heap to arrange the elements in descending order and minimum heap to arrange the elements in ascending order. Maximum heap descending from max to lower. Minimum heap ascending from minimum to higher, likewise. Okay, so the concept is very simple. Whatever elements they will give to you, simply construct a binary tree. Binary tree in level order traversal we will construct, isn't it? Level order traversal we follow and we construct node by node. Okay, level by level we construct the binary tree. After constructing, just perform the heapifying. Heapify is nothing but converting the binary tree into maximum heap or minimum heap. It purely depends on in what uh, order you are sorting your list. If you are sorting in ascending order, then heapify to minimum. If you are sorting in descending order, heapify to maximum. What is heapify? Very soon we will discuss. Delete, I mean, after heapifying, after performing the heapify operation, delete the root. Always what we have to do, delete the root node and put that root node into the list. Okay. So delete the root element from the minimum heap using the heapify method. Put the deleted element into the sorted list. Repeat the same process. I mean, whatever operation we performed in 1, 2, 3, 4, the same operation we have to repeat until your complete minimum heap becomes empty. Okay, display the sorted list. Finally, what we do, we display the sorted list. So over here, these elements we are considering into my list, that is 82, 90, 10, 12, 15, 77 and 55, 23. How we can construct the binary tree of these? Just we have to follow, just we have to go with the what we call level order traversal. So first I have to start with 82. 82 will become my root. Then we will be having 90. Then here this side 10. Level order traversal. This we did. Okay. Then 12. Then 15. Then 77. Here. Then 55. Then 23. Like this it will come. 23. So you can see this one, same thing you can observe over here. 82, 90, 10, 82, 90, 10, then 12, 15, 12, 15, 77, 55, 12, 15, 77, 55. Here 82, we have a top, 90, 10, then 12, 15, 77, 55. See, the same thing we have over here. The same thing we have over here. Then finally, the leaf node is 23. So that leaf node 23 we got over here. So after doing this, what we have to do means we have to heapify. We have to generate the max heap. We have to generate the max heap. So how we are heapifying? Always the root node should be the greater value. In max heap, always the root node should be greater. So here in this 12 and 23, so 23 is greater. So we have to shift this 23 over here. So 23 will come over here. Then 12 will come over here. Okay, like this we have to swap. Then 23, 15, 23, 15, 90. No need to change anything, isn't it? 23, 15, 90. No need to change anything. It will remain as it is. Then again, yeah, here this side you come. 77, 55, 10. 77 is greater. So shift this 77 up and 10 to down. 10 to down. So 10 will come over here. 77 will go over here. Then after this, 77, 90, 82. 90 is greater. So shift 90 to the top, 82 to the bottom. Shift 90 to the top, 82 to the bottom. So 82 will come over here and 90 will go here. So now the same thing. See, 90 root node, 82, 77, 82, 77. Then 23, 15, 10, 55. 23, 15, 10, 55. Then finally we have 12. 12 it came over here. So after doing like this, we have to delete this root node 90. Deleting this root node, what we have to do means the least node in the level order traversal, the least node we have to select and we have to swap. The least node we have to select and we have to swap. So 90 will come down and 12 will go up. 12 will come over here, 90 will come down. So then delete this 90. Deleting 90, keeping 90 over here and deleting will disturb a lot of things. So what we have done, simply we have swapped and we are deleting 90 now. We are deleting 90 now. So after deleting 90, what will happen? You will have 12, 82, 77, 23, 15, 10, 55. And this 90, whatever you have deleted, make this 90 as the maximum. Here you put 90, here you put, and the rest of the things in level order traversal you write. 90 you fix it, and rest of the things in level order traversal you write. So what you will get in level order traversal? 12, 82, 77, 23, 15, 10, 55. Like this you get all the elements in level order traversal except 90. 90 we said it is fixed. We have deleted from the heap, so it is fixed. So the same thing you will see over here. See, as it is, whatever I have written over here, the last statement you are getting over here, the last statement. And after deleting root node by swapping with this 12, we will get this one. We'll get this tree. 12, 82, 77, 23, 15, 10, 55. The same thing. Okay. 12, 12 we got over here. 82, 77, 23, 15, 10, 55. The same thing we got. Again, what you have to do, as it is not in max heap, again you heapify. Heapify is nothing but converting the binary tree into maximum heap. Converting the binary tree into maximum or minimum heap is nothing but heapifying. So after getting the binary tree, after making the swap operation and deleting the leaf node, we will get the binary tree. This is binary tree. So now what we have to do, we have to heapify it. We have to heapify. How? Simply, again you compare 23, 15. Which one is greater? 23, 15 and 82. 82 is greater. So 82 will remain same. Then 77, yeah, from the top you have to come. From the top you have to come. Okay. 12, 82, 77. Which one is greater? 82 is greater. So 82 will go up. 82 will go up and 12 will come down. 12 will come over here, 82 will come over here. Then again in this side no need to change anything, only this side you do 12, 23, 15. Which one? This is already shifted, don't consider this one. 12, 23, 15. Which one is 23 is greater? So these two will be swapped. So 12 will come over here and 23 will go over here. So now you can see 82 on top, 23, 77, 12, 15, 10, 55. Likewise we got. So now again you try to delete this 82. Again what we have to do means 82 shift with the least node in the level order traversal. In level order traversal will stop over here. So this node you have to, okay, shift this 82 over here and 55 on top. 55 on top. Now delete this 82 as a leaf node and fix the location. Here we'll fix the location. 82, 90 we already have. So now perform the level order traversal. So 55, 23, 77, 12, 15, 10. Like this you will get. Just see. Okay. Just see. 12, 55, 77, 23, 15, 10 we have. And then 82, 90 got fixed. 82, 90 got fixed. So now we have 55 at the top. 23, 77, 12, 15, 10. After deleting this 82, 55 will go top. 55, 23, 77, 12, 15, 10 will remain. 23, 77, 12, 15, 10. Same as it is. So now again you heapify. Check between these four. Which one is greater? 77 is greater. These three. 77 is greater. So 77 will go up. 55 will come down. 77 will go up. 55 will come down. 77 here. 55 here. Now again 55 and 10, no need to change anything, it will remain as it is. So after heapifying you are getting this one. 77 on top, 23, 55, 12, 10, 12, 15, 10. Again delete this 77. How we can? Deleting this 77 you have to swap with this 10. So 10 will go up, 77 will come down. Now you can easily delete this 77. So delete 77, fix the location of 77. 77, 82, 90. Now perform the level order traversal. We start with 10, then 23, then 55, then 12, then 15, then 15. That's it. Like this we'll get. 10 already it is shifted to top and 77 it is already deleted. So go to the next slide and see. 77, 82, 90 we have. 12, 55, 10, 23, 15 we have. So these three locations got fixed. Okay, once again, this list you heapify. This list you heapify, you will get 55 on top, 23, 10, 12, 15. Okay, max heap. Now this 55 you need to swap with this 15 because this is the least. Swap. So 55 will come over here and 15 will go up, and this you have to delete. This you have to delete. Okay, delete and fix this 55. So here 55 will come and fix. Okay, then 77, 82 and 90, like these elements got fixed, and here they will remain as it is. 12, 55, 10, 23. Okay, 55 will be deleted. So 12, 10, 23, 15 will be remained. Okay, 12, 15, 10, 23 and 55, 77, 82, 90 got fixed. Again you heapify this. You will get like this: 23, 15, 10, 12. Swap these two. Swap these two. So here 23 will come, here 12 will come. Okay, 23, 12. Again you delete this 23. Okay, 23 fixed. Okay, 23 fixed. As you can see, 23 fixed, 55 fixed. Now you will get like this. Again you heapify, 15 will go up, 12 will come down. So 15, 12, 10 you will get. You have to delete this 15. So again you have to least in level order traversal. So swap these two. Okay, swap these two. So 10 will go up, 15 will come down, 15 will come down, and we are deleting this 15. Okay, deleting this 15. So 15 will be fixed, 15 will be fixed. As you can see, 15 will be fixed, and there are only 10, 12. Again you heapify, 12, 10 you will get. Again you shift it and delete 12, 12 will come, and finally only one node is remained. So that node you put over here and make the tree as empty. Make the tree as empty. In this way we perform the heap sort operation. So for this heap sort, we don't have any implementation, as I said, and here all the uh, best, worst, and average cases, they will consume n log n time complexity. Okay, the time complexity, if you see, n log n. Okay, this is the end of our sorting techniques. In today's session, we discussed insertion sort, quick sort, merge sort, and heap sort. Only 4 different sorting techniques with implementations we have seen, excluding the heap sort implementation. Hopefully you understood this concept. Yeah, the last and the only remaining concept, that is hashing. In one more class I will conclude. I will try to conclude that hashing concept. Thank you very much, students.